Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 125. Supper time. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and irascible Dungeon Master, Michael Corley. And with me tonight is Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dare, and I am playing the Mighty Paladin, which is a gnome, Tix Birchmanson.
Indeed, with his brand spanking new armor that's all glowy and stuff. And also with us tonight is Riley. Riley, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello, I'm Riley, and I'm playing Athora Greyfield, a tiefling fighter, whose sword has sadly been damaged recently.
It has been pitted, I say, by acid and chipped by a fall. Is no good for your primary weapon. That has happened because both of you have bravely ventured to this strange part of town, where you went through an old door guarded by a strange skeleton-like guardian. Made your way into an entry room with a strange portrait. Made your way into another room, which then revealed a trap that trapped Tix in a sarcophagus where a graveyard sludge tried to kill you, but you both were able to defeat it. You heard in your heads the voice of the ghost, the hunger ghost, Oliver Blackeyes, who long ago had caused Athora's village to starve when his Craxidor bandits stole their food. And Thora was able to get revenge, causing him to turn into a hunger ghost. You defeated him. But as happens with ghosts sometimes, if you either do not destroy them properly, or if they still have unresolved business, sometimes they come back. And now, as you are dusting yourselves off, Tix, you've taken some damage.
Tix has taken damage for quite a while, and he's feeling it today.
Yeah.
So you with all your little dexterity things are really getting close to killing Tix.
Quick, roll a dexterity. No, I'm just kidding. So y'all have fallen into this area where there are multiple sarcophaguses here, clearly meant to most of the places where you would fall. You would then fall into these sarcophaguses, and either by magic or some kind of trigger, the lid would then slam into place. But you can easily avoid the other sarcophaguses now. And there is a fairly straightforward exit to this area. It's kind of like for lack of a better term, a basement. There is a door leading out of it, or at least further in.
Further into this trap of Oliver Blackeyes. And so Tix is going to stop for a minute and cast Cure Moderate Wounds on himself.
Okay. And I asked you to tell me if you needed to roll for any of your healing.
Usually during combat I do. It's up to you whether I should do it in a non-combat situation.
Well, you can either roll or you can do the average. What is the rules on that particular spell?
The rule, I believe it's just gets applied in non-combat situations.
Okay, then just do so.
Okay. And so it's 3d8 plus my levels. And so...
Okay, so before you tell me what that is, did you roll any 1s or 2s?
I rolled 1, a 3, and an 8.
Okay. So you did not know you had this ability. Is once per day, when you are rolling to heal with this armor, you can re-roll a 1 or a 2. Any roller 1 or 2 that you roll.
All right. And so that became a 7. So that is 18 plus my levels plus 1, so that is 25 points of healing.
Very nice. As you feel those acid burns begin to fade from your body. It's basically, this armor is almost like a tuning fork to the divine, because it is magical. You can once per day do that. You didn't realize this was your once, but you do now, because you didn't know the ability existed until now. But now you have that option later to do so. So please note that with your banded armor.
I am writing it down right now.
Mm-hmm. It makes you a better healer. As you make your way out, you find a short staircase. So most of the things that you're encountering down here are made of stone. That same kind of like lichen and things like that, very old. As you make your way up, quick question: who's going first?
I will, I guess. Tix keeps getting hurt, so...
Yes, both the fighter and uninjured is both good reasons. And a higher dexterity also. As you make your way up, there is a simple door at the top of the staircase.
Let's open it!
Okay, it's not locked. It's just got one of those old iron pulls, and it pulls open. And inside, you can see... you don't have that much experience with these because you grew up in a village, but what you believe you would call a parlor. It is a room where like noblemen and noblewomen would meet and sit and drink tea and discuss matters. There's a fireplace at one end, and there are several objects covered with sheets on several tables.
Is there anyone in the room?
Not that you can see. But give me a spot check.
Alright.
There's no one just standing there, is what I mean.
14?
14. With that, you really don't see anyone.
Tix, can you cast Detect Evil or something? This feels very suspicious.
I can do Detect Evil as a power of my god once a day. And so I will do that.
Okay. Quick question. How long does that last? Is it an instant or does it last for a certain amount of time?
I believe it's instant.
Okay. So your energy effuses throughout. What you do get is that there is just a vague aura of evil in this room, but you do not get the, there's a super evil thing under that sheet over there. You do not get that sense. So if there's something under one of them, it is either not evil or has the ability to hide itself.
Fun.
Okay. Well, let's search the room, see if we can find any trace of little Ash being taken through here.
Okay. Both of you give me another spot check.
7.
21.
21. As you begin to look through, you do find a little trinket that you can tell would have been made by Ash's father, Cragmane. It's a little metal toy. It's basically a toy soldier. But you and it almost hurts your heart a little bit, Athora. You can see that this is a standard toy soldier, and you could tell using his blacksmithing skill, he's reworked it so that it looks like a tiefling.
Aww.
So that the child will not feel like he is other. He's made him a little tiefling warrior. So you are very certain that the child was here, or that someone who had taken the child was here. Would you like to look under any of those sheets?
Yes.
There's nothing but Frankensteins under them. No, just kidding. That's what I would always imagine it was under a sheet. It's actually not really what you're expecting when you pull the sheets out. There are musical instruments.
Huh.
Under the sheets. Is it like what you would think of as like almost like a French horn, a bugle, a very small, like a hand harp, not the big mama jama, but the kind almost like a lyre. And when you pull the last sheet, there is a large ball. There is a large ball made out of crystal.
Crystal ball.
Do we break it?
That would not be my first expectation. I examine the crystal ball closer. And that's a 1. So it looks like a crystal ball to me.
It does indeed look like a crystal ball.
Is it glowing or anything? Is it just a crystal?
It's not glowing by itself. It is reflecting back the radiance coming from your armor, which I will assume is there, unless you tell me otherwise. But it does not appear to be like glowing with an inner light. But that's the whole point of crystal balls, is that they massively distort the light, so it's very hard to tell like what's in there.
Tix is going to continue examining the room. See if there's anything else, see if the musical instruments have any indication, whatever doors, or... Because if they brought Ash this way, there has to be a way out of this room.
That is true. And there is another door leading out of there. And I'm not... this is always want to say this. I'm not railroading y'all. Neither of you told me that you touched the crystal ball. Did either of you touch the crystal ball?
Not yet.
No.
Okay. I'm not making you, and you don't have to. Just saying that. I just wanted to be clear. There is just another exit.
How big is the crystal ball exactly?
It is pretty big. It's bigger than a human head.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like... It's bigger than the ones that you imagine, like a standard, soothsayer using. It's much bigger than that.
So I could probably carry it with how strong I am? Bring it with us?
You could carry it. It would be heavy if you don't know for certain if it's solid crystal. But you definitely think you would have the strength to carry it, yeah.
Do you think bringing the crystal ball with us would be good and continue on?
We can always come back for it if we want to take it. And I was thinking about selling some of these instruments.
They're nice. They're not. There's nothing wrong with them, and instruments are expensive.
Bards are not very smart, and they're easily distracted by shiny objects. So we could find several bards to sell these to.
Yeah.
No offense, Fugly.
Yes, none to our wonderful personal bard Fugly. But in a city the size of Kalimvor, you definitely could find someone to buy them. Who knows? Maybe they're magical.
You can bring it if you want. I'd say we come back for it later.
I want to bring it with us.
Okay. As soon as you place your hands on it and you lift it up, it is heavy. It's not as heavy as you thought it would be, because like a ball bigger than a human head made of solid crystal would be very heavy. But it is heavy. It's probably like about 50 pounds. But you would have thought it would have been like maybe a few 100 pounds. As you lift it up, it does begin to glow. And as it glows, literally some of the instruments begin to rise up near you, and they begin to play soft, haunting music. And slowly, a face begins to resolve in the crystal ball.
That's creepy.
And at first it is, just like those ones before, it is highly distorted, like you can't really make it out. And then it begins to come slowly into focus, and you see someone you recognize. It is the young elf necromancer that you encountered outside of Zental Keep. Her name was Gorluin. And she looks very surprised to see you.
Greetings, Gorluin. This is quite unexpected.
Oh. It is somewhat unexpected for me as well. And I am not easily taken by surprise.
And at that moment, you actually hear something else, and it pulls on your heartstrings a little bit. You hear the sound of... She goes,
"Not now, Chop, not now. I'll feed you later."
And like her image kind of fades in the back, and then it resolves itself again. And she says,
I was scrying, looking for information, and I was not expecting to see you. And I do apologize, but I suddenly got a dire warning about your friend in danger. I don't actually know your names.
I am Tix Birchmanson, Paladin of Garl Glittergold. Dun dun dun. And my companion is Athora Greyfield.
Hello.
It is. Hello. It is good to see you both.
Did I hear Chop in the background with you?
Yes, he has come to live with me. I suspect from various divinations that I have done in the last few months that he was originally the companion of my sadly deceased brother, and has come to me again. I have been taking care of him these many months, though he needs a little care other than a great deal of food.
Yes, he was a good companion.
Well, he is a good companion to me as well, and does not seem troubled in the least by my little friends.
And Athora, you remember hiding in the chicken hut, and the little rotting chipmunk coming in to deliver a message to you by way of splitting itself in half and giving you a warning not to trust the mayor of Zintel Keep, Wraithal.
Lovely.
Yes.
She says, I do not mean to be rude, but what is going on?
Well, we are currently in some sort of underground home or crypt. We're being stalked by a ghost, and we're searching for a little boy, a small tiefling, that the ghost seems to have kidnapped in order to trap us.
I wish I could give you more aid. I am, of course, very skilled with the dead and the undead, being a necromancer, but there is not much I can do for you. Here, I will tell you that the undead are driven by their compulsions. They are some of them intelligent, and it sounds like this one is, but they are slaves to what created them. If it is a terrifying lich, it's the pursuit of immortality and more power. But the type of ghosts you are describing is driven by the compulsion that created them.
So, hunger.
Hunger. Yes, unfortunately.
Alright.
Well, I'm going to try something. I hope that it helps. I don't know if it will or not.
But she closes her eyes for a moment, and you see her hand, appear in the crystal, and then she pushes forward, and you both feel like a whoomp. You now have a protection against undead. And when I say protection, I don't mean that you are immune to the undead.
Right.
You now have certain protections that you would not have had otherwise.
She goes, I hope that is helpful to you.
Thank you so much, Gorluin. I deeply appreciate it, and the small child will be greatly in your thanks after we rescue it and dispatch the evil that is here.
That is well said, and I wish you well. I sense the connection is fading now, and
you actually see the instruments starting to kind of lower down.
Goddess speed to you.
And also with you.
Connection fades, and the instruments clunk to the ground. You can take this crystal ball with you if you want. It probably is valuable. It's obviously not something you can, just carry in your hands and do combat. If you want to either leave it here and try to bring it back later, or just try to carry it with you, you can.
I guess I'll leave it here since it's...
It would be very, technically you could probably fit it in your pack, but it would be really awkward. Like, you know how when you overpack your backpack? You can certainly come back for it if the opportunity arises. So you make your way forward. You see the other opening open up to a small hallway, and you can hear music playing. And it's a music that you don't hear very often in your world, but it does exist. Like it's not like you hear it and you're like, "What is that?" But it's the sound of a piano playing. And it's a very old saloon kind of feel, almost like a harpsichord.
Harpsichord. That sets the mood.
Yes.
Clinking
along.
We'll head on down the hallway, call out for Ash, and see if we hear him. Ash, are you there? Pikachu?
Gotta catch all those ghosts. And you actually do hear a stifled, and then it's cut off.
And so was it far, far ahead or right nearby?
You really can't tell, but it couldn't have been super far away.
Right.
Because it was pretty faint.
So Tix will run towards where he thinks the sound came from.
Okay, so I want you to imagine you're in a mansion, and in every mansion in a movie, there's that second story, and then there's the big staircase down, and the downstairs. Well, focus more on that upstairs part. Imagine you're in that upstairs part, but there isn't a staircase going down. So there's a banister separating you from what's ahead. And as you look ahead, you can see down on what must be the first floor, the lower floor, is a long dining room table. And it is covered with silverware and dishes and goblets and all sorts of things like that. And you can see a fireplace, and you can see a piano at the other end. And the piano is playing, but there is no one sitting at the piano.
And so Tix is, as he rushes towards them, I will cast Protection from Evil as we go into this room, which gives me a protection of +2 to my armor class and protection from mind manipulation.
And as you do, you both feel like an energy working on your mind, and for a moment you see that this dinner table and this room is just filled with phantom creatures. Men and women, they're dancing and they're eating. One of them is passed out under the table, and of course you see someone playing the piano vigorously. There's a green light flaming from the firelight, and it's just this bizarre party happening. Suddenly on the other end of where this is happening, you can actually see two large double glass doors, and you can see the outside, which you haven't seen since you came here. And you could see like a wind blowing and like slamming against it. And as it slams and everything, you actually hear that voice again, that coming from outside.
Okay, so Tix will get Destiny Seeker in his one hand and his shield in the other and charge towards the exit. And he will call out Ash's name and say, "We're on our way, don't fear. I am here to help you out." And he will make a run for the glass door.
And you hear a voice say to you, Tix,
"Look out!"
And it is your companion, poking its head out of your backpack. One of the spectral creatures has turned and is reaching its hand towards you. And I need you to make a willpower, not reflex, saving throw.
Yay, willpower. Ooh, and that is a 26.
26, and absolutely nothing happens. Like, it's a ghost. It reaches out to do something to you, and it utterly fails, and you just stare it down, and you just pass right through it, and it evaporates like smoke. Athora, are you going to follow him out through that door? Y'all have to jump down, basically, to the downstairs, but it's even though technically it would be one floor falling damage, it's just not, it's not a big deal. So, Athora, are you going to follow him?
Yep.
Okay, I need you to make a willpower saving throw.
6.
6. So it reaches out towards you, and you feel a deep, dense cold, and nothing happens. And like it's reaching towards you, and you feel it like it's grasping for your mind to pull out your deepest, darkest fear, and nothing happens. And here's the thing. You don't exactly know why, because you feel like it should have worked. This is just the sort of thing in combat that you feel, but it fails. And you just keep moving forward, and you both burst through that door. And so question, have either of y'all been to the Grand Canyon?
No.
No.
I've driven by it.
Okay, I've only been once. As my wife and I said when we were looking at the Grand Canyon is most places, there's always that old joke. It's like, oh, I thought it'd be bigger. Well, you get to the Grand Canyon, you're like, oh no, it's even bigger than I thought it was. It's so big, and then like it's still going and going and going, and then you see like, oh wait, there's another part over there way in the distance that's still going, and it's unbelievably deep and long, and that little speck down there is the water. Well, that is the moment you have. What you are looking at is not a canyon. It's not a natural formation of any kind. What you are looking at is a graveyard. But this is not like any graveyard you have ever seen. It is stretching off beyond your sight. It is jumbled together with every imaginable gravestone and weeping angel and plaque that is worn away with time, just going and going, and there are paths, and there are monuments, and there are tables, and there are stools, and just anything that you could imagine at a graveyard. Think about, of course, like a New Orleans graveyard, but then just like you're in a fun house and there's just infinite mirrors stretching off for infinity. That is where you are right now.
Interesting.
But you do hear that sound again off in the distance.
And so Tix is going to cast Dispel Magic, because I'm thinking this is an illusion. There's no giant graveyard at the city that I know of, even though there are a lot of tombs. So I will cast Dispel Magic.
And you very confidently reach out and cast. You are aware, from your knowledge of the world, you know that Kalimvor is known for having, a necropolis, shall we say. It has a decent-sized graveyard and an old graveyard. But of course, this is silly. No city, no matter how big, and if it was 100 times bigger than Kalimvor, it wouldn't be this big. So you reach out and you cast Dispel Magic, and nothing happens. As far as you can tell, this is 100% real, even though it is impossible.
All right.
Really good idea, by the way.
Giving a prayer to Garl Glittergold, I'm going to charge towards the direction that I thought I heard the voice.
Okay. And Athora?
I'm gonna follow right along.
Okay. Y'all make your way down a path, and there are... you, just like you did in the dining room area, you get just glimpses of spirits. You see like a hand reaching out of one of the crypts, and it's just like it's trying to make its way out. You see like a few figures, like a knight, just sitting there, casually talking to, looks like a nobleman. And you even see like these little like specter, very menacing looking figures like peering from behind gravestones at you. But they're very incorporeal. You wonder if you tried to get too close to them, something would happen, but they don't appear immediately aggressive towards you as you make your way, and they sort of fade in and out as you walk, or run, I should say. And you suddenly come upon a very large, very old tomb. Clearly, it's like a small crypt. And the door is hanging open, a rusted iron door that's hanging open by its hinges, creaking slightly in the wind. And you hear that voice again inside, coming from the darkness.
Tix is boldly going to go through the door.
Okay. And you told me it was still on before. Is your light on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
As long as he thinks we're still underground, it's going to stay glowing.
Okay. Well, and just to be clear, you can see sky. You can see the sky above you, and the moon is out, by the way. It was midday when y'all went into that wall. But, as far as you can see, your senses are telling you, you are outside. There's a wind blowing, and this tomb is before you.
Tix really doesn't believe it, and so charges into the tomb.
Understood. You charge in, your light is glowing. The darkness in this tomb is so strong that it actually, dims your light, but then the strength of your god flows back through, and it lights back up as you boldly come through. Are you going through the same door, Athora, or are you going to do anything else?
I'll go through the same door.
Okay, you come in right behind him. This is a very long, think about there's crypts on each side where you would inter people. You're getting little flits of those images on both sides, and even kind of like you joked before about, let me out of here! You can even see some of them shaking slightly. But at the very, very end is a large tomb, and there is a name spelled across it, but it is not in common.
So I'll take a moment to look at it and see if I recognize the language.
What languages do you speak?
I speak Kobold, Dwarvish, Common, Gnome, and Terran.
And yes, you do speak Terran. It is actually in Dwarven.
Ah.
And it is, just as if you were reading the works of Shakespeare, is very old writing. Very old pronunciations and spellings and, lots of E's where you wouldn't expect them, kind of thing. But as you piece it together for a moment, it says,
"Here in this tomb lies he who was the greatest and most powerful. Here lies Mordenkainen."
Suddenly, a figure resolves itself in front. Now, you have heard that name, but much like with Bigsby, it is a antiquated name. It has been completely lost to history as legend and myth about the great and powerful Mordenkainen. So the figure that is appearing before you is not what you would expect. You have in your mind sort of like a wizardly type character when you think of that name. This is a knight, but it is a corrupted, warped version of a knight. And it is holding a wicked looking long blade. It is its eyes are narrowing at both of you, and they are glowing, again, not a baleful blue, but just an icy cold white light. And then very casually, almost strolling out, comes the Hunger Ghost. Comes Oliver Blackeyes from behind a pillar at the end, and he's got Ash with him. And Ash looks terrified, but he does not appear to be significantly injured. Oliver smiles to both of you, and then he looks at you, Athora, and the hate is just palpable. And he turns to the figure and says, "Look here at these enemies of Mordenkainen." And the figure attacked, and I need you to roll for initiative.
All right.
What knowledge do either of you have besides nature?
I have knowledge nature and knowledge religion.
Okay, I will accept a religion roll if you would like. But tell me your...
Initiative is 13 for Tix.
Okay.
16.
And Athora? 16 for Athora.
And knowledge religion is a 19.
So obviously, this is an undead creature. That's not a surprise to you, but you know there are many different kinds of undead creatures. For instance, you do not think this is a lich, but it does not appear to be a skeleton. It does not appear to be a zombie. You think that this might be a twisted version of a once living creature. And it rolled a natural 20. But despite the fact that you're glowing, it was given instruction by the Hunger Ghost. And that anger transfers over and it shifts focus to you, Athora, and it attacks. That is fortunate. It rolled a 9, and even with its impressive bonus, it is not going to hit with that attack.
Yay!
But it does have a second attack, and it rolls a 14. That hits too, right?
No.
No. It slashes at you with this, and you see this blade. You've never seen anything like this blade as it attacks. It is glimmering with a pale white light as it is slashing at you. And you feel an intense cold as it attack, but it misses both times. And that will bring it to you, Athora.
Cool. Let's hit it with my sword.
Okay.
Ooh. It's a 19 for the roll, but that's a critical, so...
Okay. That will hit.
20 points of damage.
As you stab into it. Now, some undead are invulnerable to non-magical attacks, but this is not one of them. As you strike into it, I would like you to roll for... did you roll the damage? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. What was it?
20.
20. And I would like you to make a reflex saving throw.
Oh boy. Natural 20.
Natural 20. As you bite into the side, it is wearing like almost translucent plate armor. As you strike the armor and bite through to hit its undead flesh, you feel your sword like kind of rattle in an unpleasant way, but it holds steady as you hit into it and it hisses at you. And that will bring it to you, Tix.
I have my second attack.
Oh, sorry. I'm glad you called me out on those because I forget.
I'm gonna use my rapier since my sword is breaking.
Okay, very smart.
So, a rapier is 1d damage. That's a 14 to hit.
And that will not hit, unfortunately.
Okay.
I was hoping it would turn into a lightsaber, but we'll see. Eventually we'll see what that rapier does. Alright, so Tix is in his wheelhouse, and so he will do a undead check to see how many hit dice both the white and the Hunger Ghost have. And so that is 20, 23, 22.
So the white has 28 hit dice.
28 hit dice?
Make sure I'm reading that.
Hokey smokes Bullwinkle.
No, it says hit dice 4d12.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 4d12 hit dice.
Yep.
Alright. So, I am double its level. Okay, and so how many hit dice does the Hunger Ghost have?
It has 18.
18 hit dice?
These aren't skeletons or zombies.
So, I'm going to cast Turn Undead. And so that is 2d6 plus my cleric level plus my charisma modifier. And so 16, 17, 8. So I turn 18 hit points of... So any monsters with less than 18 hit dice get turned.
So it has 18, and we have said in our homebrew that Ty goes to the defender. So what I'm going to say is the 20, it is able to resist. This is a very powerful undead.
Right.
I'm going to say that the Hunger Ghost loses its turn.
Okay.
That is coming up, as in right now, because of that, because it just turns, and you put your hand on your chest, and the light that was coming just suddenly expands outwards, and those flickering forms in the distance just vanish when you do that. And both of them actually take a couple of steps back, but the Hunger Ghost is actually cowed by it, and like you can actually see like the edges of his form actually like jittering and losing cohesion slightly. It was a very close thing. You almost turned him, but he did lose his turn, so that is not inconsequential.
Right.
The white, however, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You is that your full turn, or do you get?
I get another turn.
You get another attack. Yeah.
So what happens to the white? They both take a step back?
They both take a step back. Yes.
Okay. So I am going to cast Sanctuary on Ash.
I like that very much. If you did not already have inspiration, I would give it to you for such a thoughtful thing as you cast Sanctuary on him, as the Hunger Ghost with but a flick of his wrist could kill him instantly. But now the power of your god is protecting him, and I think it's like 10,000 hit points or something like that that he have to get through in order to harm Ash.
And so I yell as a free action. I yell at Ash. Ash, I have protected you. Run over here behind me. He can't harm you.
All right. And he is terrified, but he believes you, and he sees your holy light, and he runs. And like the Hunger Ghost even like would have gotten an attack of opportunity. Obviously, it wouldn't have done any good. But like he's actually still cowering from your turning of undead as Ash runs towards you, and now he cannot use him as a hostage, which was absolutely something he was going to do.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah,
a really good call on that. That was yours, and that will actually bring it to the Hunger Ghost. Guess what? He lost his turn,
which is only fitting and proper. Little coward.
It is. It will now bring it to the white. The white holds up that wicked-looking, pale, glowing blade, and he goes, "Argh!" And he summons a devil. Just, I'm just going to say it because its name is on the tin. It is a bearded devil. Which then it will attack, but he actually gets one more attack, which he will now try to slice into you, Athora, with his one attack. That is very fortunate that he rolled an 18. Does that hit?
No.
Yeah, that was really close. I thought for a second he had done it. But now the bearded devil will immediately attack after being summoned, and he is attacking you, Tix.
You can try.
You can definitely try. So I have said in the past that I'm going to have characters roll a perception check. Not perception. A spot check. He fails. So he is going to waste his first attack trying to attack you. Why can't he attack you?
Well, I have cast Protection from Evil, which protects me from denizens of lower planes and increases my armor by 2.
Yes, and so literally, this is the kind of thing that it is protecting you from, as a devil, and it has a glaive, which you recognize that kind of weapon as like a halberd that Morezi uses, but it's longer on the top, and he like swings with it, and as he swings, it's just that force works back on him, and he realizes what is happening, and he turns to you, Athora, and lunges at you with his barbed beard. Unfortunately, he now gets an attack of opportunity from Utix if he does that. So you get a free attack, because if he's going to attack with that beard, he has to step towards Athora and stop engaging you.
Tix gives a mental nod to Destiny Seeker that this is where Destiny Seeker redeems himself by smiting evil.
He said, you hear her voice say to you, "Demon blood, devil blood, delightful."
And so that is a 17 plus 28.
His armor sucks. You hit.
And so that's...
He's actually just wearing a loincloth, and it's just his natural skin.
14 points of damage.
Okay. He notices as his head whips around, even as his beard is going towards Athora. And DM is back in spades here. He rolled a 9, so even with his bonus, that ain't gonna do it. And that will bring it to you, Athora. You now have a white attacking you and a bearded devil.
Fun. Okay. Let's use my rapier and attack the white.
Okay.
Ooh, that's significantly better. Alright. So, 25.
25 will hit.
Woohoo! Okay, now, do I just roll the damage?
Yeah. Well, your rapier damage,
Yeah.
which is 1d8, I think?
Yes.
I'm not certain.
Yeah, I pulled
believe
it.
so.
I have it pulled up. So.
Yeah, 1d8 plus your strength bonus, of course.
Okay. And you said plus strength bonus, so that would be...
Mhm.
And 11.
11. So, whites are very powerful, and they are very, very dangerous. Let's just say you're both glad you didn't get hit. But they actually don't have that many hit points. So, Athora, with your rapier, tell me how you dispatch this white.
I, with my rapier, not expecting it to do much, take it and use it and stab, and it pierces right through his neck.
And it just... And then like the other one, the magic that holds it together unknits, but it's not like it clatters to the floor. It literally... It is sort of like a fusion of a ghost and a zombie. And the zombie part of it just evaporates along with the ghost part, and old plate mail and a very unusual sword, which apparently just summoned a devil, clatters to the floor. A long sword. And you have a second attack, and you also have a bearded devil attacking you.
Cool. Alright. Let's use my rapier again, I guess.
All right.
No. That's an 11.
And as I said, his armor sucks, but it doesn't suck that bad. As he manages to... He literally knocks your rapier away with his beard. Which is sort of like these weird... think Davy Jones, but with pointy bits at the end. And that will bring it to you, Tix. No, I'm sorry. No. I have that right. Tix, it is your turn.
All right. So, Tix is going to continue his back attack on the devil, since the devil ran past him. Reach out and place his hand on the devil's back and cast Inflict Critical Wounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a 21.
So the good news for the devil is his natural armor doesn't change, even when he's, a touch attack. The bad news is his armor sucks, so you hit. So roll that damage.
That is 4d8 plus 8. So that's 9 and 10, 11. So 19 points of damage.
19. So that is 33 points of damage as you touch him, and the power of Garl Glittergold, even though technically it's necrotic, against this devil it's almost like a cleansing flame, just sort of licks out from your hand and just burns away the flesh where it touches, and he recoils and screams.
Okay. And I'm going to follow up with a swing of Destiny Seeker across the backs of his knees.
Okay.
And that's a 16.
That will hit.
No, I take that back. That's a 21. So that's still hit. And
Yes.
that is 15 points of damage.
So, Tix, with Destiny Seeker, tell me how you kill this bearded dragon. Good lord. Don't kill bearded dragons. How you kill this bearded devil.
So as he places his hand firmly on the devil's back, he uses the devil's own weight to brace himself and swings Destiny Seeker back across the hamstrings of the devil, clipping the femoral arteries and just causing him to spurt blood all over the floor and bleed out instantly.
And he screams and he collapses and his beard tentacles are just writhing every which way. His glaive falls to the ground. Blood splays everywhere. You can actually in that moment see Destiny Seeker drink in his blood. And then he actually vanishes as he's sent back to the 9 hells below.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
He didn't seem like a great person. That will bring it to the Hunger Ghost. He looks up at both of you and he says, "Hunger." And I would like you both to make a willpower saving throw.
I can do that.
However, I would like you both to make it with advantage. Almost as if a certain woman you saw in a crystal ball put a spell on you.
Excellent.
So advantage is 2 rolls, or?
Yep, just get to roll twice.
2 rolls and you take the highest one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 16 for the first one, and 12 for the second. So 16.
16, okay.
Okay.
And you, Tix?
I got a 2 for the first one, and a unmodified, or 18 plus 6, so 24 for the second one.
Athora, you actually felt this once before, is suddenly like an intense desire to consume flesh. And both of you, you particularly, Tix, like start to give in to it, and then you feel that energy given to you by the necromancer course, and there's it's like a shake it off, or unaffected. And when he sees that, then he just opens up both of his hands, curls them into claws, and he goes, "I will chew your face off, woman!" And he rushes at you, Athora. He gets a 19. Does that hit?
I have a 19 armor class.
So in my homebrew, we said Ty goes to the defender. So no.
Woohoo!
As you are able to bat away his fingers, which are like iron. And that will actually, the white is defeated, the bearded devil is defeated, which means it brings it to you, Athora.
Can I freeze him in a wall of ice?
You could certainly try to trap him in a wall of ice. You can't actually, bisect him, where, you can't create it where there's something already there.
Okay. Then let's just attack him with my very, very damaged sword.
Okay. Pick up your damaged sword and attack.
23 to hit.
Okay, that will hit.
Alright.
And roll for damage and roll a reflex saving throw.
Okay. 14 for damage and... reflex, so that would be a 28 for reflex.
28. Okay, so you manage to do it in such a way that you're keeping the sword intact. Your incredibly clattering sword. It's like trying to come out of the hilt. It's been so that was from the impact of that fall. But as it strikes at his flesh, there is a solidness to him, it does absolutely no damage.
Oh.
Because your sword is not magical or coated with silver.
Okay.
By the way, in your defense, you were able to damage him the last time. So something has changed. But you, as a fighter, you know that what it's like when you hit something and it hurts it. And you did absolutely no damage to it. It did not even break the skin.
Tix, use your magic swinging axe or whatever. Vampire
You still have
axe.
one more attack if you want to try to do something.
Drop your sword and use your rapier.
Okay, then I'll use the rapier since it's magic.
Okay.
See if that at least does something. Well, that's an 8 to hit.
So, unfortunately, and it's just because it's so short, you're used to hitting with your longsword. It's just not an ideal weapon to attack with because it's broken, and it doesn't quite get through. I really should have had it do 1d4 damage before, since it's basically a dagger right now, but we'll forget that. That brings it to you, Tix.
Tix will swing away with Destiny Seeker.
All right.
That is a 1. So I am going to use my inspiration to re-roll that. Because
Beautiful and great idea.
this would be a bad situation to let that slide. And so... Oh, much better. That is an 18 plus. So 29 total, and 18 counts as a critical hit for Tix with the battle axe. So triple damage. This is a good night for that, for Destiny Seeker.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
And so 3 and 3 is 6. And 7 is 13, plus 8 is 21 points of damage.
21. And as you noted, it is a very magical sword, and our axe, and does not have any trouble biting into this undead flesh, and it screams as Destiny Seeker bites in.
And so second roll is a 19. And so that is a critical.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 and a 2. And another 2. So 5 plus 8 is 13 points of damage. And then I'm going to go ahead and use... I've already used Axe Frenzy today, so never mind. I am done for this round.
All right, that brings it to the Hunger Ghost, and it says, "You," and it turns to you, Tix, and he goes, "will be the instrument of her destruction." And it reaches out to you, and you feel the malevolence pouring into your mind. And I need you to make a willpower saving throw.
Okay.
And as I mentioned before, with advantage.
All right.
So picking up that crystal turned out to be a really good, smart thing.
Well, and also, I did cast Protection from Evil, and so I am protected from mind-altering effects.
Oh, that is very important, because this is sort of iffy, but I would say this is mind-altering, since it's literally trying to possess you. So it just fails. As it tries, it suddenly, your armor flashes, and it is moved back. And it turns and tries to do the same thing to Athora. However, just like the bearded devil, that gives you an attack of opportunity.
Ooh.
So first, I need you to roll that.
Okay. That is a modified 21. And so that is only 9 points of damage.
Okay. But it is still a hit that you got for free as it moves towards her. And I apologize, it can only do that one per round. So instead, it is trying to grab hold of you, Athora, and you feel this bone-chilling cold as it does so, as it rolls a bone-chilling 11 and does not hit. And it is your turn, Athora.
Awesome. Let's use my rapier again and
Okay.
get a little damage in. Okay, that's a 14 to hit.
That will not hit.
Okay. Do I have the second attack on that?
Yes, you do.
Okay. That is a 12 to hit.
That will not do it, unfortunately. You're just so used to fighting with it. You know, that's what a longsword is. Really long. Like, if you could use a longsword, that would be better. But, you know, it's really hard to fight with a broken rapier. And it is your turn, Tix.
Okay. Tix is going to continue to swing away with Destiny Seeker.
Okay.
And that is a 12. So I know that's a miss.
Correct.
Or 13. And that is a 16.
That will hit.
Oh, good. And so that is a total of 15 points of damage. And as a free action, Tix will yell at Athora to pick up the White's longsword.
It is the Hunger Ghost's turn, and it is trying to grasp hold of you, Athora. And unfortunately, it gets a 22.
Oh boy.
So I need you to make a willpower saving throw.
Okay.
And you can make it with advantage.
Okay, so 22 for the first roll and 22 for the second roll.
Okay, you needed a 15, so that is successful, and you suddenly filled with thoughts of this horrible creature that is consumed with desire and hate, but you just force it back. And having failed, it then just tries to grasp hold of you again and rolls a 6 as you bat it away. And now it is your turn.
Awesome. Alright, I reach for the sword.
Okay. I am going to allow him to take an attack of opportunity against you because you are ducking down to grab something off the ground while engaged in combat with him. He rolls a 1. He rolls a 1.
I hope he breaks a fingernail.
And I don't have my new thing open, so he just fails. But he absolutely, he imagine like you duck down so quickly and you feel the cold like whoosh and over your hair as you duck down and you grasp hold and you feel power just flow through your body as you pick up this long sword, as it just sinks up with you. And it is your turn.
Fun. Let's use it. So what do I have to... What type of sword is it?
It is a longsword, so but it has a +1 to hit.
Cool.
And it is magical.
Alright. 14 to hit.
14. That will not hit.
Cool.
But you do have another attack.
Let's use it. Oh, that's significantly better. Okay. 25 to hit.
25 will hit.
Cool. And then the damage would be 2d6.
For a longsword is 1d7, 1d10.
1d10.
Yes, it's 1d10 plus 1. Because that +1 on magical weapons is both to hit and damage.
Plus your strength.
Oh, plus your strength, of course. Yes,
Awesome.
added on top of that.
10 points of damage?
10 points. So, tell me how you destroy this hunger ghost.
I pick up the sword and I miss one swing, syncing up with it, trying to learn how to use it. And then I bring the sword back around, slashing him, and just watching him, hoping that he'll be gone for good this time.
Now, undead are immune to cold, but upon a successful hit with this blade, it actually does an additional 1d6 cold damage. Now, that doesn't actually affect an undead, but for flavor, as you cut through him, you just see his entire body just cover with hoarfrost and then shatter, and his incorporeal being just phase out into the different planes of reality as he is forced into nothingness. And you now have a brand new sword. It is called the Blade of Stygia, and it is actually imbued with the hellish cold of Stygia, the fifth circle of the 9 hells. It is a magical sword, +1 to attack and damage rolls, and as I said, 1d6 extra cold damage upon a successful hit. And if you kill a creature, the creature will freeze solid as they draw their last breath. And you have a choice that you can actually recharge it by killing creatures. 1 charge can summon an imp who will serve you, and 3 charges will summon a bearded devil who will serve you.
Cool.
But in order to charge it, you must kill a humanoid or a fiend with the sword. The creature may make a DC 15 wisdom saving throw, and if it fails, then the sword is charged. So, FYI, just keep that in mind. You now have this sword, the Blade of Stygia, which is, as I said, a long sword. It will take time for you to attune to it, but that is not important here. What would y'all like to do?
Tix will perform last rites and do his best to make sure that the hunger ghost does not ever come back. He will commune with Garl Glittergold, cast Divine Favor on himself as he prays for the dispelling of Oliver Black Eye's spirit permanently, and see if he gets any indication from Garl Glittergold to that.
I would like you to make a divinity check.
All right. Because that's what I do. And that is a 18. Modified 18.
Okay. You don't know whether or not it's successful, but you think that what you have done, is effective. Is there anything that y'all would like to do in this room before leaving?
Well, I go over and I check Ash and check him over and tell him he's going to be okay and we'll get him home to his family and that it's all over. And does he have any wounds that I need to heal? Any bruises?
He does have a couple of hit points worth of damage, which of course is a big deal if you're a child. But they're essentially cold burns on his arm.
Okay, I cast Restoration on him to get rid of any lingering effects of the undead, and then I cast Cure Wounds on him, Cure Light Wounds on him for 1d8, which is 6 plus my levels of Cleric, so he would get 14 total, but I know that's more than he actually has. And so he is cured up and healed. I will check around the room and see if there's anything else, any items in this room.
A spot check, please.
And that is a 21.
So, like I said, when you did your big spell, you actually, like, the little shades and everything just vanished. And so you feel fairly safe. Looking around the room, you actually do find 2 things. So question, does Tix use a shield?
He does use a shield.
You find a shield.
Ooh.
And there are various things throughout this, crypt area, but this one you can tell is magical, not because you did detect magic, but because some magical items, especially armor, like the boots of Winterland that Merezi put on, will actually change their size when you wield them. And this shield shrinks down when you wield it.
All right. Perfect gnome size.
It is. It functions exactly the same as as your current shield. It does not infer an extra shield bonus. However, this shield is imbued with Shield of Faith. Once per day, you can, as a bonus action, cast Shield of Faith either on yourself or on someone else. If you cast it on someone else, they get +2 to their AC. And if you cast it on yourself, you get a +1 to AC. But it is called a Shield of Faith.
Okay.
But it is magical, and you now have that shield. You also find a scroll. It is a prayer of healing. And if you read that scroll, it will cast a prayer of healing all party members by 1d8 for each level above second. So I guess it's a prayer of mass healing. So 1d8 for each level above second.
Okay, for every level.
And one other very minor thing, you have also found the oldest tomb in Kalimvor. And that is the tomb of the famous, legendary spellcaster Mordenkainen. And that's where we'll end Chafing Armor episode.
Excellent.
125. Yes. Great job, both of you.
Thank you for not killing us.
You are very welcome. Thank you for playing, Riley.
Thank you.
Hope y'all both had a good time.
Yeah.
I did have a great time.
Good. They all did really well. Whites have a certain ability, which is to remove one of your levels.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, because, by the way, you should make note of that you went back and got that crystal ball. It is valuable. So, FYI.
But what instruments were we able to cart off? I know we couldn't take all the big ones because just not.
Well,
enough.
you were able to take the instruments back. They collectively are worth 78 gold, so you can add 78 gold.
Okay.
To your character sheet. But the ball is something special. You're going to need someone skilled in magic to figure out exactly what it is. But there are very few real crystal balls in this world, and this appears to be one of them. Anyway, hope y'all had a good time.
We did.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing. Thank you all for listening. We love you, our fans.
Very much so. Go look at our new wiki and check out all the drawings and all the information and all the backstories. We're going to have lots of fun with that. Yes.
Let me mention you can go to chafingarmor.fandom.com to see the wiki. There's lots of fun entries there, and everyone's putting in. But chafingarmor.fandom.com is where you can see that. There's over getting close to 200 entries in there, probably even more by the time this comes out. So yes, go and check that out. Thank you for reminding me. But y'all have a good evening, and until we see you again, we will roll with you soon.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.